The Iberian Peninsula, where Spain is located, has a long and rich history. People have lived there for over 30,000 years since the Paleolithic period. Archaeologists have discovered evidence of these early inhabitants in caves. They found tools and paintings that reveal details about their lives. One famous site is the Altamira Cave. It is located in northern Spain. The cave contains stunning paintings of animals. These paintings are over 15,000 years old. Another important site is the Dolmens of Antequera. This site features large stone tombs from the Neolithic period, approximately 7,000 years ago. These discoveries showcase the ancient roots of human presence in Spain. These early inhabitants were hunter-gatherers. They moved around the land in search of food. Over time, they developed agriculture and began to settle in villages. They also developed their own distinct cultures and beliefs. These early communities laid the foundation for the civilizations that would follow. The Iberian Peninsula was also influenced by other cultures. People arrived by sea from the eastern Mediterranean. The Phoenicians, Greeks and Carthaginians established trading posts along the coast. They brought with them new ideas, technologies and goods. This interaction enriched the local cultures. It also paved the way for further transformations in the centuries to come. In the 3rd century BC, a powerful new force emerged on the Iberian Peninsula, Rome. The Roman Republic, engaged in a struggle for dominance with Carthage, clashed with Carthaginian forces in Spain. This conflict marked the beginning of the Roman conquest of the Iberian Peninsula. The Romans called the peninsula Hispania. It took them over 200 years to conquer the entire region. The process was marked by fierce resistance from local tribes. However, by the 1st century BC, Rome had established control over most of Hispania. This victory integrated the region into the vast Roman Empire. Roman rule brought significant changes to Hispania. The Romans established cities, roads, and aqueducts. They introduced their language, Latin, which formed the basis for the Spanish language spoken today. Hispania became a vital part of the Roman Empire. The region prospered under Roman rule. It became a major producer of grain, olive oil, and wine. Many Hispanians adopted Roman customs and ways of life. Some even rose to prominent positions within the Roman Empire. Notable figures like the emperors Trajan and Hadrian were born in Hispania. Their reigns marked a golden age for the Roman Empire. The Roman period left an indelible mark on Spain. The ruins of Roman cities, aqueducts and theatres still stand today as a testament to their enduring legacy. The Roman legal system, language and culture profoundly influenced Spanish civilization. This influence continues to shape the identity of Spain today. As the Roman Empire declined in the 4th century AD, waves of Germanic tribes migrated across Europe. Among them were the Visigoths. They established a kingdom in southwestern Gaul, modern-day France, and eventually expanded their control into Hispania. The Visigoths, unlike the Romans, were initially Arian Christians. This belief differed from the Roman Catholic Christianity practiced by most of the Hispano-Roman population. Over time, however, the Visigothic elite converted to Catholicism, unifying the kingdom religiously. The Visigothic period saw a decline in the prosperity and urban life that characterized Roman Hispania. However, the Visigoths did make significant contributions to Spanish culture. They developed their own legal code, the Visigothic Code, which influenced later Spanish law. They also left their mark on architecture, with distinctive churches and buildings. Despite their contributions, the Visigothic kingdom was weakened by internal conflicts and external pressures. This instability paved the way for a new power to emerge on the Iberian Peninsula, Islam. In 711 AD, a Muslim army crossed the Strait of Gibraltar from North Africa, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Spanish history. The arrival of Muslim armies in 711 AD marked a turning point in Spanish history. The Umayyad Caliphate, centered in Damascus, had been expanding rapidly across North Africa. Their forces, composed mostly of Berbers from North Africa, swiftly conquered most of the Visigothic kingdom. They called the land Al-Andalus. The Muslim conquest brought about a profound transformation of Iberian society. Al-Andalus flourished as a center of learning, culture, and trade. The cities of Cordoba, Seville, and Toledo became renowned throughout the Mediterranean world. The Moorish rulers, particularly during the Caliphate of Cordoba, fostered a vibrant intellectual atmosphere. Scholars from different faiths and cultures flocked to Al-Andalus. They made significant advancements in mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and medicine. The Islamic world's knowledge was preserved and advanced in Al-Andalus. This knowledge eventually spread back to Europe. The Moorish period saw a flourishing of art and architecture. The Great Mosque of Cordoba, with its iconic horseshoe arches, became a symbol of Islamic architectural achievement. Intricate geometric designs, calligraphy, and decorative tilework characterized Moorish artistic expression. These artistic traditions continue to influence Spanish art and architecture today. The Muslim presence in Spain wasn't always peaceful. Periods of conflict existed between different Muslim rulers and between Muslims and Christian kingdoms in the north. However, for centuries, Muslims, Christians, and Jews coexisted in Al-Andalus. This coexistence led to a unique cultural blend. Section 5: Reconquista and Reunification, Forging a Kingdom. While Muslim rule flourished in Al-Andalus, Christian kingdoms in the northern Iberian Peninsula resisted the Islamic advance. From these strongholds, a gradual process of reconquest, known as the Reconquista, began. Over centuries, the Christian kingdoms gradually pushed southward, reclaiming territory from the Muslim rulers. The Reconquista was marked by periods of intense warfare and by periods of peace and coexistence. The capture of Toledo in 1085 marked a turning point, shifting the balance of power in favor of the Christian kingdoms. The Reconquista was not just a military campaign, it was also a process of cultural and religious transformation. As Christian rulers reconquered territories, they sought to re-Christianize the population and establish their own institutions and laws. In 1469, the marriage of King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile united the two most powerful Christian kingdoms in Iberia. This union marked a decisive step towards the unification of Spain. In 1492, with the conquest of Granada, the last Muslim stronghold in Iberia, the Reconquista was complete. The Reconquista had a profound impact on the development of Spain. It led to the creation of a unified Spanish kingdom. It also shaped the religious and cultural identity of Spain. The legacy of the Reconquista continues to resonate in modern Spain. Section 6: Golden Age and Habsburg Rule, a New World and New Conflicts. The year 1492 was a pivotal one in Spanish history. Not only did it mark the completion of the Reconquista, but it also witnessed the voyage of Christopher Columbus, funded by Queen Isabella I. Columbus's expedition, seeking a westward route to Asia, stumbled upon the Americas. This discovery ushered in a new era of Spanish exploration and conquest. Spain quickly established a vast empire in the New World, stretching from the southern United States to the tip of South America. The influx of gold and silver from the Americas brought immense wealth to Spain. This wealth transformed the country into a major European power. In the 16th century, the Spanish crown passed to the Habsburg dynasty. Charles I of Spain, also known as Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, inherited a vast empire that included Spain, the Netherlands, parts of Italy, and the American colonies. The Habsburg period was marked by constant warfare. Spain fought to defend its European territories against rivals like France and the Ottoman Empire. It also engaged in religious conflicts, suppressing Protestant movements within its own borders and battling Protestant forces in the Holy Roman Empire. Despite its military engagements, Spain experienced a cultural golden age during the 16th and 17th centuries. This period saw the flourishing of art, literature, and theatre. Masterpieces by painters like El Greco and Diego Velázquez, as well as literary works by Miguel de Cervantes and Lope de Vega, brought renown to Spain. However, constant warfare and economic mismanagement gradually drained Spain's resources. By the end of the 17th century, Spain's power had declined, and it was eclipsed by other European powers like France and England. Section 7. Bourbon Dynasty Reform and Revolution. In 1700, the Habsburg dynasty in Spain came to an end, and the Bourbon dynasty of French origin ascended to the throne with Philip V. The Bourbons initiated a series of reforms aimed at modernizing Spain and strengthening its position in Europe. The Bourbon reforms centralized power in the monarchy, reducing the autonomy of regional institutions. They reformed the administration, promoted economic development, and strengthened the military. These reforms had a significant impact on Spanish society. The reign of Charles III from 1759 to 1788 is considered the high point of Bourbon rule in Spain. Charles III implemented further reforms promoting education, science and the arts. He also modernized infrastructure, building roads, canals and public works. His reign saw a period of economic prosperity and cultural flourishing. However, the French Revolution and the subsequent Napoleonic Wars had a profound impact on Spain. In 1808, Napoleon Bonaparte's forces invaded Spain, placing his brother Joseph on the Spanish throne. This invasion sparked a fierce resistance movement in Spain. The Spanish War of Independence from 1808 to 1814 was a brutal conflict that pitted the Spanish people against Napoleon's forces. It also led to the adoption of a liberal constitution in 1812, reflecting the influence of Enlightenment ideas. Although Napoleon was eventually defeated, the war left Spain devastated. The country faced political instability, economic hardship, and the loss of its American colonies in the early 19th century. Section 8. Republican struggle and civil war, a nation divided. The 19th century was a turbulent period for Spain. The country was plagued by political instability, economic crises, and social unrest. Liberals who favoured constitutional monarchy and reforms clashed with conservatives who sought to preserve traditional institutions and the power of the monarchy and the church. In 1873, a short-lived republic was proclaimed. It faced opposition from Carlists, supporters of a rival branch of the Bourbon dynasty, and from within the Republican camp itself. This first republic collapsed in 1874, and the Bourbon monarchy was restored. The early 20th century saw the rise of new political movements, including socialism, anarchism, and regionalist parties. Spain remained neutral during World War I, but the war's economic and social consequences exacerbated existing tensions. In 1931, following municipal elections in which Republican candidates won in major cities, King Alfonso XIII abdicated, and the Second Spanish Republic was proclaimed. The Republic implemented a series of reforms, including the separation of church and state, land redistribution, and the granting of autonomy to Catalonia. However, the Republic faced opposition from conservative forces, including the military, the church, and landowners. In 1936, a group of army generals, led by Francisco Franco, staged a coup d'état that plunged Spain into a bloody civil war. Section 9. Francoist Spain, Dictatorship and Development. The Spanish Civil War from 1936 to 1939 was a brutal conflict that divided the country. The Republicans, supported by the Soviet Union and international volunteers, fought against the nationalists led by Franco, who received support from Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. The nationalists emerged victorious in 1939, and Franco established an authoritarian dictatorship that lasted until his death in 1975. The Franco regime repressed political opposition, curtailed civil liberties, and promoted a nationalistic and Catholic ideology. Despite its repressive nature, the Franco regime oversaw a period of significant economic growth in Spain, particularly in the 1960s. This growth was fueled by industrialization, tourism, and remittances from Spanish workers abroad. However, economic development under Franco was unevenly distributed and political repression continued. In the later years of the regime, opposition to Franco grew, particularly among students, workers, and intellectuals. Section 10. Modern Spain, Democracy and Progress. Franco's death in 1975 marked a turning point in Spanish history. The country embarked on a remarkable transition to democracy, dismantling the institutions of the dictatorship and establishing a constitutional monarchy. A new constitution, approved by referendum in 1978, established Spain as a parliamentary democracy with a constitutional monarch as head of state. Spain joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, in 1982 and the European Economic Community, later the European Union, in 1986, further integrating itself into the international community. Since the transition to democracy, Spain has experienced a period of political stability, economic growth, and cultural flourishing. It has become a modern, democratic state with a high standard of living. Spain has also played an active role in international affairs, contributing to peacekeeping missions and promoting human rights. Despite its progress, Spain faces challenges, including economic inequality, separatist movements in Catalonia and the Basque Country, and the integration of immigrants. However, Spain's commitment to democracy, its dynamic society, and its rich cultural heritage provide a strong foundation for the future.